Aloha and welcome to another episode of Tiki Room Talk, a Disney podcast. My name is Angela and I'm joined by my sister Christina.
We will be your master of ceremonies on this enchanted journey into weekly top 5 topics and helpful tips when experiencing all things Disney.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, YouTube, or on Libsyn. Just search Tiki Room Talk. If you like listening to us, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Tiki Room Talk. We'd love to hear your feedback or answer any questions you may have, so be sure to reach out to us.
This week's topic, we will be discussing something we hold near and dear to our hearts, Broadway musicals.
It's the top 5 movies we would turn into a Disney on Broadway musical. Our siestas keep getting shorter and shorter, so let's wake up the Glee Club,
put on the show, and get Tiki talking.
Welcome back to another episode of Tiki Room Talk. We are recording this episode on May 2nd, so we are still in the quarantine and shutdown. And last night we watched the castle fireworks from Disneyland Paris.
Wow, they were cool.
They were probably the coolest fireworks show I've ever seen.
We're happily ever after fans, but I'm not gonna lie, I like this a little bit more.
I think this beat it. It had the water. It had... Oh, it was really,
it had
really
lasers,
incredible.
It had fireworks, the projections.
Yeah, it was really
cool.
really incredible. If you can still stream that, definitely stream it. We watched it on, I think it was called, like, if you just search Disney Magic Moments on YouTube. Also, we watched Prop Culture that just came out on
yesterday.
Disney Plus. That was really awesome. We watched 2 episodes of that. We watched Mary Poppins and Pirates of the Caribbean.
It was a pretty neat show, so if you get a chance to check it out, we highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's about, different movies and the props and making of and, where they're at now in the Disney archives, and it was really, really cool.
It's pretty neat. You don't realize how much goes into those movies.
Oh my god, the detail is incredible.
Concept art, to costumes, to set pieces, to, even just the props. And it was interesting with the Mary Poppins one because a lot of that stuff got thrown out because back then they didn't archive things historically or anything. So they were kind of hunting for some stuff like, oh, well, where do we find it? So it was pretty interesting.
It was really, really cool. And this topic is going to make me want to pack my bags and head for Times Square right this second.
Disney on Broadway has been producing the most whimsical and jaw-dropping musicals on Broadway since 1993.
Productions such as Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Tarzan, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Frozen, Mary Poppins, Newsies, King David, and Aida have delighted audiences over the years.
A fun fact about Disney on Broadway is that it actually goes by the formal title Disney Theatrical Productions.
Another interesting fact is that Disney Theatrical Productions actually holds a 49-year revenue-based lease on the New Amsterdam Theater in Times Square, which is currently where Aladdin is playing.
They have also produced adaptations such as The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Pinocchio, Hercules, High School Musical 2, Camp Rock, Descendants, and Freaky Friday. These shows did not make it to Broadway, but did delight audiences all over the world.
They did High School Musical 2 and Camp Rock?
Apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. They also have produced non-Disney movie Broadway musicals such as King David, Aida, On the Record, Peter and the Starcatcher, and Shakespeare in Love. They made that a musical?
Yeah, apparently in 2011. I had no idea.
Wow.
I love that movie, too.
Yeah.
Peter and the Starcatcher was really popular, too. It ran for several years.
Yeah.
It was a very big show. In fact, the rumor mill has it that The Jungle Book, Princess Bride, Alice in Wonderland, Father of the Bride, and Bedknobs and Broomsticks are all headed for Broadway in the foreseeable future.
Wow.
So...
hopefully that...
You heard it here first, guys.
Hopefully that is able to still happen.
I actually am very surprised by the Princess Bride and Father of the Bride in there, because they're not Disney movies.
Princess Bride, actually, I just saw, just got added to Disney Plus yesterday.
Might have been maybe purchased in an acquisition.
Yeah.
But originally, no.
No.
And Father of the Bride, I don't know what's going on with that one, but I think Disney might have had it this whole time, but it's not a Disney movie. Like maybe it was Touchstone or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be interesting.
That definitely would.
And supposedly the Alice in Wonderland that they're planning is going to be based off the Tim Burton movie not the animated movie.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of gothic, dark.
Yeah.
Could be because maybe Beetlejuice was successful. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll
seeing as both of us love a good Broadway musical, we thought it would be fun to imagine which movie adaptations we would love to see hit the stage. So, Teen, we're going to have you start us off with number 5.
I'm excited about number 5. It is The Nightmare Before Christmas. So, a little background for you. The Nightmare Before Christmas is a 1993 American stop-motion animated musical Halloween Christmas dark fantasy film directed by Henry Selick and produced and conceived by Tim Burton. For those of you who may not know the story, it tells the story of Jack Skellington, the king of Halloween Town, who stumbles through a portal to Christmas Town and decides to incorporate that holiday and celebrate it.
Christmas Town?
Danny Elfman wrote the songs and the score and actually provided the singing voice of Jack. And the principal voice cast includes Chris Sarandon, Catherine O'Hara, William Hickey, Ken Page, Paul Rubens, Glenn Shadix, and Ed Ivory.
Do you think Chris Sarandon is related to Susan Sarandon?
That I don't know, but could be a possibility.
Look it up.
Could be a possibility. The Nightmare Before Christmas originally was a poem written by Burton in 1982 while he was working as an animator at the Walt Disney Production Studio. And with the success of Vincent in the same year, Burton began to consider developing The Nightmare Before Christmas as either a short film or a 30-minute television special. Production started in July 1991 in San Francisco, and Disney released the film through Touchstone Pictures because the studio believed the film would be too dark and scary for kids. Which is interesting because they embrace it now.
I was going to say, it's like all over the parks
It's
now.
everywhere now.
That's
they
really
love
interesting.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you watch it, it is a Touchstone film. It is not a Disney film.
That's crazy. Because that's like, I feel like the only Touchstone film that they really... It may not be the only one, but one of the major ones that they really embrace in the park.
Yeah, a lot. They do a lot. The film was met with both critical and financial success. It made $76 million during its original run. It was nominated for Academy Award for Best Visual Effects and for Animated Film, and has since been reissued by the Walt Disney Pictures and re-released annually in Disney Digital 3D from 2006 till 2009, which made it the first stop-motion animated feature to be entirely converted to 3D. Since its release, it has garnered a very big cult following.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a lot. It's a mouthful, but I want you guys to know how cool this film really is.
Oh, yeah, if you haven't seen it. I assume most people have, but...
I would assume so, but just in case, definitely recommend it. I love this film. They're always playing it at Halloween. They're always playing it at Christmas. Yeah. It's dark, but I love Tim Burton movies.
You really do.
I'm not closeted about that.
No.
I do. I like all his movies, and so this one fits right in.
This is on that prop show, too. They did an episode of
and
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, we haven't watched that one yet, but I'm very excited about it. Back to how this would make a good Broadway musical.
Yeah.
I think it would be really interesting, considering how popular and lifelike some of the Broadway puppets that they do these days could look. I could see a lot of really awesome puppetry being used in this musical. I think you could have humans be like Jack and Sally, maybe like the mayor, Santa Claus, but then you could have some of the lesser characters like Zero or something be like a puppet. I think it could be really cool.
Now, my interpretation, I was thrown in a curveball where the whole musical is puppets. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in Walt Disney World does a castle show with a Jack Skellington puppet. They just started it last year or 2 years ago, maybe. And it is like the coolest puppet.
It's a lot bigger.
Ever. It's really big. It's
than
like
you would think.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, it's supposed to be. It has to be big because you have to see it from far away. But it's big, and that's what I picture Jack Skellington to look like. I feel like when they put him in like a costume,
I know you don't like it.
I think it's weird
I know you
when
don't
you
like
see Jack Skellington walking around. I just don't think it looks right, and I think if they could do it all puppets, that would be really, really cool. Now, I think it would be hard because obviously the castle show, it's dark, so you really can't see the person that's working the puppet. So I don't know how they could incorporate that on the stage. But I mean, it's a dark show.
I was going to say, this movie lends itself to being a dark show.
So I think it would be...
Yeah. I think everything's at night.
Yeah, I would like to see it all puppets.
I think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think music is really popular, and there's so many songs in the film to begin with. There's 15 songs already.
Yeah, that's a lot.
In the film. So, Danny Elfman, if you're up to the task, you only have to write like a couple more.
Yeah.
I'd love to see kind of like more of a love song between Jack and Sally.
Yes.
I've always felt like, it's getting slightly off topic, but I always felt like their coming together was really, like, forced at the end. So maybe if it could be more gradual, like, you know, you see her pining after him, but he never really gives her a second thought.
Yeah.
She's always just kind of a friend that helps him, and then all of a sudden at the end he's like, oh, Sally, you made it happen.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of cool if maybe they added a little bit of filler in there.
Yeah.
To, like, watch that progression a little bit.
I think I'd like to see a big dance number. Oh, I think they could do a couple big dance numbers. Like, This Is Halloween could be a big dance number. But also, the Oogie Boogie Man song could be a big dance number. And if I could dreamcast that, I'd have James Monroe Eaglehart, who's the original Genie on Broadway. I feel like he would be such a good Oogie Boogie Man.
I think he would, too.
Yeah.
He'd be so much fun.
Now that character, I feel like, doesn't need a puppet.
Maybe not, though.
So maybe he wouldn't
Maybe
be a puppet.
not.
I don't know.
There's a lot of things you could do with this, I feel like.
Yeah.
I just think it's such a popular movie. It's such a cult classic. People love it. I don't think you'd have any problem getting an audience for it.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
I don't think people would flock to come see this as a show.
Yeah. I also think the set designer would have a really good time with this one.
Yeah.
Like doing, like, making Halloween Town.
And then Christmas
and the
Town.
Arch in the Graveyard. And I think this would, it would be a really fun one.
I think it would be a lot of fun. Why don't you tell us about number 4, Ange?
Number 4 is near and dear to me. It is Pirates of the Caribbean. And we would base this off of Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yes.
So, for those of you who don't know this wonderful movie, Pirates of the Caribbean is a series of fantasy swashbuckler films produced by Jerry Bruckheimer and loosely based on Walt Disney's theme park attraction. The stories follow the adventures of Jack Sparrow, who's Johnny Depp, Will Turner, Orlando Bloom, and Elizabeth Swann, who is Keira Knightley. Characters such as Hector Barbosa, Jeffrey Rush, and Joshua E. Gibbs, Kevin McNally follow Jack, Will, and Elizabeth in the course of the films. The fourth film was a little different. They threw in some mermaids. They brought in Penelope Cruz, and then
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard, and then they just kind of forgot that movie, and they started
and then they started back up.
And then
with
they started back up with the fifth one and brought the other cast back in, which I thought the fifth one was pretty good.
I liked the fifth one.
I didn't mind it. I mean, nothing tops the first one.
Nothing tops the first one.
But the series started in 2003 with Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, which received positive reviews from critics and grossed $654 million worldwide.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The franchise has grossed over $4.5 billion worldwide, and it is the 14th highest grossing film series of all time. And it was the first franchise where more than one film grossed $1 billion worldwide. That's pretty cool.
That's crazy to think about that, because when you think about the highest grossing franchises, you have, like, you know, James Bond, Harry Potter, Star Wars. Mm-hmm. It's crazy to think that Pirates beat them at having more than one film gross $1 billion.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You
well,
know?
they were the first ones.
Yeah.
That is pretty awesome.
I don't know. It's crazy to think about that.
It's great. I think this would be a really, 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 really cool show.
Yeah.
If they do it right. And it would be hard. It's not an easy task.
It would take money. Very much.
Yeah, lots of dollars. I mean, I would definitely base it off of the first movie. I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. I don't think we don't need Davy Jones. We don't need any of that.
It would be impossible to get all that into one musical anyway.
Yeah.
Because the first film's even over 2 hours, so.
Yeah. And I think it's important to incorporate some little hidden gems from the ride. Like the movie did. You know, they have the scene in the prison, and they have the scene with the pigs, and when they go to Tortuga, and, you know, there's a lot of hidden gems. They sing the
song, yeah.
Yeah. I
think it would be definitely a darker musical. Like, obviously, there's not going to be a giant tap number in this.
No.
You know? Like, I kind of get more of a, like, rock musical, rock opera kind of vibe. Something where it's all sung and it's darker. It's kind of more about the characters, you know?
Yeah. I was saying it wouldn't be really whimsical and, like, more of, like, a Les Mis vibe. Obviously not tragic, like Les Mis, but like the tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. You could have some really cool set pieces.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be interesting to flush some of these characters out through songs.
Yeah.
Like, I could see kind of a funny, like, a little bit of humor, drinking type number on this with the scene where Jack and Elizabeth are stranded on the island.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it would be interesting, too, for, like, some ballads through, like, Elizabeth's perspective and stuff like that. Because you don't really know too much what she's thinking throughout half this movie. So, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
I love the duet between her and Will. That would be fun. I think also, so Jack would be the comic relief. Obviously. And I feel like some big group numbers they could do would be when the pirates dock at Tortuga. And maybe when they're first introduced to the pirates on the Black Pearl. Maybe they have some kind of like big music numbers. And for the fight sequences on ships, I think it could be possible to do on stage.
I think so.
You know, like maybe have like one ship on one side, one ship on the other side. And then also have like a set that's like you're actually on the ship. You know what I mean? Something like that.
There's all kinds of Broadway magic where you make things that are a small space look huge and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think it could be done. I think some of the special effects would be interesting, like with the skeletons, how they turn from people to skeletons.
Oh,
but
that would be crazy.
I feel like, honestly, they could do anything. They could do Spider-Man.
I know, yeah. If Spider-Man can happen, not saying that it was successful, but if it can happen.
I feel like you guys have the technology and stuff to do all that.
I would definitely go see this show.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be darker and for more mature audiences, not just like adults, but I wouldn't bring your 5-year-old. It's not like going to see Shrek or something like that. But I think it would be a pretty cool musical.
I agree. So, Teen, why don't you tell us about number 3?
Number 3, I think, is going to be a popular opinion, but how about Hocus Pocus?
What?
Hocus Pocus, for those of you who may not know, is a 1993 American comedy horror film directed by Kenny Ortega. The film stars Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, with Omri Katz, Thora Birch, and Vanessa Shaw in supporting roles. The film follows a villainous comedic trio of witches who are inadvertently resurrected by a teenage boy in Salem, Massachusetts on Halloween night. The film was released in 1993 by Walt Disney Pictures. It received mixed to very negative reviews from film critics, which is interesting. It was not a critical or commercial success upon its release, possibly losing Disney around $16.5 million.
Wow.
However, largely through annual airings on Disney Channel and Freeform, which used to be ABC Family, Hocus Pocus has been rediscovered by audiences, resulting in a yearly spike in home video sales of the movie every Halloween, and it has also helped to make it a cult classic. Apparently, a sequel directed by Adam Shankman is in development for Disney+, but there's not too many details on that right now.
It's funny that this didn't do well in theaters and it's huge now, because I remember watching this like years and years ago. I think I was like home from school one day, like I was sick, and I watched this and I was like, oh my god, I love this movie. And then they would like maybe show it here and there. And I feel like no one really my age knew about it. And then all of a sudden it just blew up.
It's everywhere now.
Everywhere now. It's so huge now.
Every Halloween. I think what do? They do 13 nights of Halloween on Freeform. I'm pretty sure out of the 13, like 8 of the nights are Hocus Pocus.
Every night they show Hocus Pocus.
They're always showing Hocus Pocus.
For me, I think this would definitely be a family musical.
Yeah,
it would be
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it would have some like
something whimsical.
Something like a funny adult jokes like the movie has. I think it would be really funny to see the witches flying around the stage when they are in modern day time and they're flying on, like, a vacuum and a mop.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of funny.
And we know you could do it because Wicked, so...
Yeah, so...
You can have more than one witch flying around on Broadway, just saying.
We'll be alright.
So the original movie didn't have a lot of music in it, so I'd be curious to see what they might write for this.
Yeah. Well, I put a spell on you would be in there. I think it would be a big number. Maybe, like, a song before intermission. Something like that, a big number. Also, Come Little Children, would definitely be in the show and reprised a couple times because she does sing that
a couple times in the movies, yeah. I could picture, like, a funny song for Winnie.
Yeah.
Kind of where she, like, laments about what's become of her. 'Cause she's always talking about, like, oh, I look so old and stuff. And kind of, like, the style of the song from Once Upon a Mattress where she's singing about happily ever after, you know? It's, like, cheeky, a little jazzy, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I could see something like that.
I wish you could train, like, a real cat to be
yeah, that's not
to play Binks on stage. But I don't think you can really do that. So I don't know. Maybe they could do like an animatronic or a puppet,
or maybe even
Binks
just some sort of projection.
Yeah, something
Of sorts could be.
Binks is kind of an important character. You need him to drive the story, I think.
Also, you have Billy. Isn't he the zombie? Billy.
I think it would be cool if when Winnie wakes up Billy from the dead, other zombies are woken up too, and there's like this big zombie dance number.
Yeah.
But then they all just kind of go away and never come back, and Billy's like the main.
Maybe they just weren't successful. They went looking for the kids and were just no.
Yeah, they just
didn't work out for them.
And so Billy doesn't talk throughout the whole movie.
No.
Until the very end. So I think it would be kind of funny if they did a song for Billy where it's like through interpretive dance and like someone else is narrating it.
Yeah.
Like something fun, like Billy gets a song and then like at the end when he finally gets to talk, he reprises it, but he's actually the one singing it.
Okay.
I think that would be fun.
I like it.
A big dance number again would be like some big ensemble numbers would maybe be at like Allison's Halloween party, and then when the parents go to that big Halloween party, there's some big numbers there.
Yeah, so. I think it could be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And not just for Halloween, though. I know sometimes like Christmas-based musicals, they'll open them right before Christmas. They'll run for like November to December, get out of there and stuff. Yeah. But I think this is something you could maybe play year round.
I think so. I think people will go see it too. Like we said, this has a big following now.
Yeah, everybody loves Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I agree.
And why don't you tell us about number 2?
Number 2, wow. It is The Muppets. Yay!
Hey, you know we're big Muppets fans. Yeah.
Firstly, it is important to note that the Muppets have had several attempts at heading to Broadway over the years. In 2013, Disney explored the idea of a Broadway musical starring the Muppets. A 15-minute presentation was held May 31st, 2013 at Disney's New Amsterdam Theater in New York City to test the concept. The showcase featured 86 puppets and a handful of sets and used mainly existing Muppets material, including a performance of Rainbow Connection by Kermit, and the focus of the presentation was to test the technical requirements of such a show. So I guess it just didn't work out.
Well, from what I read, it's not that it didn't work out. They kind of just put it on a back burner. We're like, all right, let's keep this in our pocket. This could be good.
Yeah. So, if you don't know what the Muppets are, they are an ensemble cast of puppet characters known for their absurdist, burlesque, and self-referential style of variety sketch comedy. It was created by Jim and Jane Henson in 1955, and they are the namesakes of the Disney-owned media franchise that encompasses television, music, film, and other media associated with the characters. The Muppets originated in a short-form television series, Sam and Friends, which aired from 1955 to 1961. They also were on The Late Show, and they began appearing on Sesame Street in 1969. They attained celebrity status and international recognition through The Muppet Show, which was from 1976 to 1981, which received 4 Primetime Emmy Award wins and 21 nominations during its 5-year run. That's incredible. That's really awesome. And the Muppets have had, like, a ton of movies over the years.
And TV shows,
And TV shows. They had the Muppet movie in 79, The Great Muppet Caper in 81, and The Muppets Take Manhattan in 84. Then the Walt Disney Company began its involvement with the Muppets in the late 80s. They had the Jim Henson Hour in 1989 and the Muppets Tonight, which was from 96 to 98, both of which were similar to the format of the Muppet Show. They had 3 other films, Muppet Christmas Carol in 92, Muppet Treasure Island in 96, and Muppets from Space in 99, which is like the Lost Muppets movie.
It's hard to find that one.
No one ever talks about that one. In 2004, Disney acquired the Muppets, allowing the characters to gain broader public exposure than in previous years. They made 2 films, The Muppets in 2011 and Muppets Most Wanted in 2014. They also had a short-lived primetime series on ABC and a reboot of the Muppet Babies animated series. I liked the show that they had on ABC.
I loved that show. It only got
1 season.
I was so sad
so
they didn't renew it. I thought it was funny. You can watch it on Disney+.
And also the Muppets have a show at Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
Muppets 3D.
Which actually, that was supposed to be a whole land, but that's another story for another day. I could tell you guys all about that someday.
In their 6-decade career, the Muppets have been regarded as a staple of the entertainment industry and popular culture in the United States and English-speaking area generally, being recognized by various cultural institutions and organizations including the American Film Institute, Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Library of Congress, and the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That's pretty awesome. They've also been in some of the puppets we've seen at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C.
Some of the original puppets are Smithsonian materials now,
which
is pretty neat.
American History? No.
The American History Museum. Yes.
So, this would be the absolute best. I don't even care what the plot would be. I would just go see it.
So, I read in Jim Henson's biography, which I think I've mentioned before. Go read it. It's very good. That Jim always actually wanted to bring the Muppets to Broadway. He liked the idea of having a live show that you could perform night after night. And that's why when Muppets Take Manhattan, it's about that. Yeah. It wouldn't be the first musical to have puppets. I mean, let's be honest. You got Avenue Q, Lion King's got puppets. Yeah. I mean, you would obviously need to have some really great, phenomenal puppeteers to fill out this cast. But I think it would be a really great outlet for people who have those skills. I agree. You know, people do still puppeteer, and it'd be really cool if you had some sort of outlet for them on Broadway. I think it would be cool to redo the original Muppet movie, and instead of them heading to Hollywood, they're heading to Broadway. We could do that too. Yeah. For me, I thought of the idea of maybe kind of not necessarily a show with a central plot, but like vignettes, which is kind of the way that Your Good Man Charlie Brown is. It's just stories, kind of like all tied together, almost like the original Muppet Show was. Yeah. Like almost like skits, you know? That way you don't have to worry about moving a plot along, but you could just do different funny things and stuff like that. But I like your idea too, though. I think that could be a lot of fun. And I think the Muppets are known for a lot of their cameos. Like, that's a big thing in their movies, is they have a lot of cameos. And obviously, you couldn't have some of those big actors and actresses in a Broadway show because they'd have to do it so many times a week. Yeah. But I think it'd be cool if you had people who were really good at impressions. Yeah, that's true. Doing actor impressions. Because, again, there are a lot of people that are good at those, too. Yeah. I think that'd be fun. It'd be cool if you could write in some sort of moment where a celebrity comes in and you leave it open, so whoever's in town in New York City that week wants to also thought in. That. That's really funny you said that. Yeah. Like, wants to pop in for a show. Yeah. And then it'd be cool for the audience, because you're going to buy tickets to it, not knowing who's going to show up that day. Yeah. So, that could be kind of neat. Going back to if you were to rework the original Muppet movie, there's like so many original songs, there's so many songs in that movie already. Yeah. And they all introduce the characters. So if you were to go off of that, you could use so many of those songs, and you're introducing all of your characters. Like, all the Muppets are going to be in it. The whole gang. Yeah, you'd have all the classic Muppets and stuff like that. And I think it would be really Muppet-esque if, like, they broke the fourth wall, they really interact with the audience. Like, maybe they bring people on stage every show, like something crazy like that, you know? I think it would be a lot of fun for families, for just people who love the Muppets. They have they're such an iconic group that I think you could get an audience very easily. They did a Muppet show at the Hollywood Bowl a couple years ago, and then they did 2 nights at the O2 Arena in London. Gosh, I would have given my left arm for tickets to that. But, so it's been done before. Yeah. Now, those were limited runs where, like, 2 nights and they're done, so it could have been the original puppeteers doing it. Yeah. But I think considering this is something they've been thinking about for years and years and years, I say, why not do it? Let's do it. Let's get it on Broadway. I agree. Would love it. Oh my god, it would be so much fun. I think it'd be really fun, too, to have the old guys in their own balcony seats. Yeah. And you kind of pan to them, like, put the spotlight on them a couple times, like they do it in Muppet 3D and Hollywood Studios, where they have their own things to say. I think it'd be cool. I think that'd be fun. They even do, and actually, I think they've recently gotten rid of it, which is sad, but they were doing a little small show in the Magic Kingdom with the Muppets, Great Moments in History. But just the American part? But, I mean, it was so much fun just to see a Muppet being performed in person. Like, it was a recording, so the puppeteers weren't doing the voices and stuff. But just to see the movements and stuff, they were up behind windows and all that. It was just so much fun. It's funny you brought that up. I was going to say, I just remember seeing that for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, I'm seeing the Muppets in person. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So to see him on Broadway, I think that would be really amazing. And it would just be such a fun show for everyone, like you said. Teen, what do you have for number 1? So number 1, we have Tangled. When will my life begin? So for those of you who don't know Tangled, it's a 2010 film produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios. It's very loosely based on the German fairy tale Rapunzel, and it is the 50th Disney animated feature film. It has the voices of Mandy Moore, Zachary Levi, and Donna Murphy, and it tells the story of a lost young princess with magical blonde hair who yearns to leave her secluded tower. Against her mother's wishes, she accepts the aid of an intruder to take her out into the world which she has never seen. So, before the film was released, the title was changed from Rapunzel to Tangled. Originally, it was supposed to be a sequel to Enchanted. Not sure how that would have worked out, but would have been interesting. Yeah. And then they decided to make it its own standalone film. The film employed a unique artistic style by blending together features of CGI, so computer-generated imagery, and traditional animation, while using non-photorealistic renderings to create the impression of painting. Which I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah. And, of course, composer Alan Menken, who's worked on so many Disney animated features, scored the movie. So, I love this movie. I think it would be a great musical. Part of me was wondering how you would go about doing her hair. Mm-hmm. But if you can turn people into fish in The Little Mermaid and have apes and Tarzan... They'd figure it out. You could do hair. They'd figure hair out.
I think my favorite part of this would be watching Disney's magic of recreating the lantern scene. Yeah. And I Can See the Light. Yeah. That would be so beautiful.
It would be so neat. You do a lot of cool stuff with that. I think the I've Got a Dream song would be like a really cool, like, big expanded dance number, kind of like what they did with Gaston when they did Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. You know, they tack on like 5 minutes and you got
a lot of tap, a lot of dance.
All kinds of dancing, swelling beer mugs and stuff like that. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think another ensemble number they could do is when Rapunzel and Flynn go to the town. And she gets her hair braided.
Like, and they're dancing around and stuff. You'd have a lot of like fun big dance numbers and things like that. You've got your villain. The villain's got a song, which is, she kind of ages and then not ages. So that can be fun for the makeup director. Oh, yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah. I think for Maximus, the horse, they could do like a big puppet, like kind of like they have for Sven and Frozen. Yeah. Because Maximus is kind of an important character.
Mm-hmm. You can't not have Maximus.
No, you can't not have Maximus. You need him. And I'm glad they got rid of Abu and Aladdin because Abu's like the worst. But I would keep Pascal in Tangled and just do like a little puppet. Yeah. That like sits on someone's shoulder. Like you don't really see it. He doesn't talk. It just hangs there, out. So. It's not that important, but you can't get rid of him. But Abu, get rid of Abu.
And for Iago in Aladdin, they made it a person.
I don't even remember that. We saw Aladdin a few years ago, but
we did. It's awesome.
I don't remember.
But yeah, they made Iago a person.
Yeah, it's because those kids were sitting in front of us.
Oh, Aunt's just always talk about these kids. They were very ill-behaved.
I could not enjoy the show because these kids were like walking on their seats, not sitting down in front of us. I'm like, no offense, but you pay good money to go see a Broadway show, and these kids were so bad, and their parents weren't doing anything. It was very distracting. I was very upset. Anyway.
This would obviously not be Alan Menken's first musical, so I'm sure he's gonna fill the soundtrack out with some of his usual goodies. Some of his hits.
I said Flynn Rider. I think he should do a song where he's like describing his past, and I kind of pictured like My Petersburg from Anastasia, something like that, something upbeat and fun.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
I think also another filler song you could do is like the parents get a duet because they're still alive.
Yeah, the parents are still alive.
So, like, you show them in the castle at one point kind of singing about how they, like, miss their daughter and they haven't given up hope on her.
Yeah.
Something really kind of cool. Throwing in a curveball. Mm-hmm. This would be an awesome one.
Yeah, it would be so much fun. I'm quite surprised they have not thought of it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe like, with all those ones they have in development, I'm like, why not Tangled, though?
I know. The music in it's so good already.
So good.
They probably just don't do it because they can't get Mandy Moore to do Broadway. And Zachary Levi.
You need to have Zachary Levi. No. Although I think, did I write it in here? I don't know. But, like, I could see Flynn Rider being my boo, Aaron Tveit.
Oh, yeah. Saying. I agree.
Love you, Aaron Tveit.
Yeah, but I agree. He would rock that part.
Yeah, I can see it.
I agree. And now for our honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list, but are still great movies that we would turn into Broadway musicals. And I'm really excited for the first one.
I'm not as excited for the first one, so I'll let you talk about it.
I wrote a lot for this one.
I did not.
The first one we have is the Haunted Mansion. So,
I think
Teen's not feeling this one?
No, it's not that I'm not feeling it. I just, like, for me, it's a giant question mark. Like, I don't... And obviously, that's what's cool about it. You could do a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
I don't know... Like, for me, I think I would rather base it on the attraction than on the movie.
I know this is going off of movies we turn into musicals. Mm-hmm. But I think if you went off of the movie a little bit, okay, and you did it more on the ride, that would be okay. So I'm throwing in a wrench to our rules. I think, what if the plot was like, okay, hear me out. What if the plot was about a wanderer who enters the mansion and then, like, all this crazy stuff happens?
I could see that.
And then he falls in love with one of the ghosts. And he has to choose if he wants to become the 1000th haunt, because they have 999 happy haunts.
They're happy.
So he has to, like, choose if he wants to stay and, like, live with her in this haunted mansion forever or live his life. That would be pretty crazy.
I like that, but that has nothing to do with the film.
No, not really, but that's okay. I think, obviously, one of the really cool numbers would be a big ballroom dancing number. Like, I think it would be cool if, like, scene by scene, you go through different rooms of the ride.
And you're meeting different, like, characters and stuff. Like, obviously, you're going to have Madame Leota. Obviously, she's going to get, like, a number and all that stuff. She can't dance, but, you know, come up with some fun with that. Oh my god. I'm just real into this one.
I think it'd be cool and obvious also to do a big number for the graveyard number when they sing Grim Grinning Ghosts.
Yeah.
The bus would have to be there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Can't not have that.
You gotta have the bus. I think, Madame Leota would get a fun song. That'd be really cool.
I almost like the idea of having a narrator that you don't see as the ghost host. Yeah. Kind of like chorus line type situation. Yeah. Like, you never see that guy.
I like that idea.
But his voice just booms in from some beyond or something. Yeah, I could see that.
I like that.
Being something cool.
I think also the portraits that stretch. Mm-hmm. Is this room actually stretching? Those guys? Yeah. Like, they get their own songs.
They get
not like their own, but they get like a big song where they're singing their stories.
Okay.
And then in Broadway fashion, they like reprise their verse and sing them all at the same time.
I wasn't really sold on this idea, but you're making it come alive for me. So I'm going to hand this one off to you. You got some good ideas.
I know, thank you. The Hitchhiking Ghosts, they get a song. Where are they hitchhiking to? We're going to find out. They died hitchhiking, right? That's my thing. They were trying to leave the mansion. They died hitchhiking. Where were they trying to go?
Did they ever get there? No.
No, obviously not, because they're stuck in this mansion.
Obviously not.
Big zombie dance number. See, that's when you can incorporate the movie, when they have to go into the
mausoleum and stuff. Okay.
Right?
I can see it.
Right?
She's making it come alive for me.
Yeah, you can make the next one come alive for me, because, I mean, I didn't have much for
See, this is what happened. She picked one and I picked one. Obviously, the next one is Pocahontas. I mean, I've talked before about how much I love this movie.
You didn't write much. You didn't write much.
Because I think it's self-explanatory. Like,
you need to sell me.
How do I sell you on something that's going to be very easily done? Like, you just, like, pick it up and put it on a stage.
I'd like to see a cool canoeing scene.
I think they could do it. Yeah. They've done boats how many times? Right. I mean, you had Chi Chi Bang Bang where that car was flying. They got the carpet and Aladdin now.
We can do a boat.
They could do a nice little canoe scene.
I want to see Grandmother Willow.
Yep. You got a big Grandmother Willow. That'd be fun.
Yeah, the face moves. Mm-hmm. And there's a woman singing.
Yeah.
She gets songs.
She's like...
Well, she's already got songs.
Yeah, but she gets more, though.
She's present.
I don't know what you would do with, like, Miko and Flit and stuff. I think you could do a puppet, or...
Yeah, I wrote that, too. You could do puppets.
Could you make them people? Pocahontas has friends.
I mean, you could. I like the idea of puppets. I think they're cute. Also, I think the dog, you could have a real dog.
Percy.
You could have a real pug.
You could have a real pug.
Train it.
They do. I mean, it's not the first time they've had a dog.
They had the dog in Legally Blonde.
Well, they have Sandy and Annie.
They have Bruiser in Legally Blonde.
It's not the first time we'd have a dog. But, yeah, I think it's I know historically, blah, 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 it's not great. But I think it would be a lot of fun to take all that really great music, put it on Broadway, expand them a little bit, like mine, but like add like 5 minutes to it, get some like real crazy pitchfork stuff in there. But then you have the part where Ratcliffe is singing all about being back at the court and stuff like that. So that could be cool,
I think, and like picture it, right? Very end of the scene, stage left, you have Pocahontas, and she's like running. And then she, like, runs to the edge of the cliff. Yeah. And then stage right, you see the ship going away with John Smith on it. See, she's just looking at it. The colors in the background. Oh, Christina.
Powerful.
It would be good.
It'd be good.
It would be good.
I'm surprised they never did this one either.
It would be good, but...
I mean...
I'd pick Haunted Mansion.
I like both ideas.
So much possibilities.
So many possibilities. You could have some great actors really showing off their singing powers in this one.
Add some people to the Disney Broadway range of players.
Very true. Very true.
Hopefully these choices were enjoyable for all of our wonderful listeners. I'm not sure if everyone's going to agree, but we'd love to hear feedback about what you would put on your top 5 list of movies you would turn into Disney Broadway musicals.
Yeah, leave us a comment on social media. We'd love to hear from you guys.
So, thank you guys for listening.
And we'll see you real soon.